Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are looking at A Warm Welcome by Bee's Knees Lacquer. This is an orange-sickle doomicorn sibling. It's an older polish that I think was brought back for purchase. I think it was originally released in 2023. I had considered grabbing it a couple of times when it was offered previously, but it kept getting pushed off the list by other polishes. I just wanted more. Then it seemed like I had waited too long and I sort of forgot about it. Then I saw it in January and I decided I had best buy it because it might end up on a regrets list. A regrets list might be very useful for a YouTuber because you could make a video about all the things you regret not buying, but I would prefer to have no material for a video like that. I think Like the Greater Good by Emily Damali, I only have this polish because the maker very kindly kept bringing it back for 2 years. Left to my own devices, clearly I could not be trusted. I did want to say, at the point I did this swatch, I hadn't actually started gardening yet. I think that I did get a bit of pigment from another polish into my ridges. So my nail does look vaguely dirty, and I don't really know why. Luckily, the polish covers that, so we can now ignore that my nail looks dirty. This is part of my effort to expand into oranges. It's quite sheer, so if that doesn't interest you, maybe the BKL, The Living Usually Won't See the Dead, is a better choice. It's much more opaque, although possibly not entirely opaque, but much more so than this one. This is a soft orange. You can't tell inside, but it is quite shifting. Here we're mostly getting a gold into a bit of green from the shimmer. I think it is pulled a bit towards goldenrod here because of the shimmer. For the second coat, you can see that the color is building up, but it will stay a soft, translucent polish. I think it goes from looking more of a pale peach in the first coat to getting to more of a creamsicle orange in the second. I have taken off this polish in the meantime, so I can say that it has just a slight cantaloupe lean, just a tiny bit of pink in there. I was slightly concerned that this polish would give my hands a boiled shrimp complexion again. I think they end up looking a tiny bit pink, but not the crazy pink I was envisioning in my head. That was a relief. The third coat does give us a bit more color, and you can see that even though it is bright in the bottle, it gives a much softer look on the actual nail, but it is definitely an orange. I haven't done my usual trick of accidentally thinking that I bought an orange and finding out I bought a pink. And I do think you can see that base color pretty well when I tip my thumb upwards, and the base color is easier to see. I think I knew that this was a doomicorn sibling, and then I forgot. Then I failed to purchase it, and some time passed. After that, I got a hold of this bottle and realized in the sun that it's quite shifting, and surprise! At which point I wondered to myself, is this a doomicorn sibling? And sure enough, it is a doomicorn polish. So hooray for me for managing to know, forget, realize, and then confirm it again. Out in the sun, the first thing we see is the familiar orange base and the gold to green shift. When I lift my fingers, you get just a whisper of blue. Then I swing around to the left and you get more of a blue and purple into the shimmer, and the polish looks more pink overall when I lift my fingers. When my fingers are pointed downwards, we're back to the more familiar gold and green. Even though this polish can look pink at times, I don't think you're going to get the impression that it's pink. The interaction of the blue and the purple shift overpower the orange of the base at some times. But as soon as you move your fingers in any direction, that gives over to looking orange once more. And it's not that the pink shift isn't visible or is barely there, it's just that it's a very shifting polish, so as soon as you tilt your nails differently, you're just going to get a different look. And the majority of the time you will think this is an orange polish. In the shade, the gold to green shift is by far the most prominent. There's a tiny amount of the blue shift when I move over to the left, but I think here you can see why I say that even though the polish can look pink at times, you will not ever mistake this for an actually pink polish. I do think that this polish has some similarity to two of my polishes, both of which are cupcake polish. I think it is somewhat similar in overall look to Shimmering Sunburst and Hamilton. None of these polishes are actually dupes, but they do share some similarities. Shimmering Sunburst has a coral base with a gold to orange shimmer and hollow glitter. Hamilton is also a coral base with a pink to blue shimmer. I do think Hamilton is more similar just because both are pure shimmers. Because the base color and the shimmers are mirrored, in other words, A Warm Welcome has an orange base with a blue, gold, green shimmer, where Hamilton has coral base with a pink to blue shimmer. They really do not actually look like dupes. I think at a distance you could fool someone, but if you got anywhere close to the actual polish, you would instantly understand that they were not the same. In my case, Hamilton is my Patrick Star polish, and so I often don't take it out unless I'm taking out my other SpongeBob polishes. Indoors, facing the window, you can see that blue shift again. I think I see just a tiny amount of the purple at the edges. But when I lower my fingers or swing around to the left, you are mostly seeing that golden to green again. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe so that I can carve a squirrel-shaped ice sculpture and leave it in the water bowl for the critters to find. Please enjoy a clip of my squirrel hanging out in the tree, crunching loudly when I try to get my shade footage. Hello, squirreling. Have you come to join me? Are you having fun? I could hear the little crunching sounds.